Welcome back, everybody.
Glad to be back.
Thanks for having
Y'all
us.
want to play some
Hello.
DND?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes, please.
D.
Fuck
Dion
yeah.
D.
Who the hell's Dion? What does
my
D
God.
stand for?
This
I vote to murder.
long campaign we're on.
Well, quick recap of where we left off.
Mhm.
The party spent the night here in Zepharel proper. Spending the night at the Lava Hearth Tavern, having rooms and drinks and food gathered for you. Vinteth, you noticed a individual at the end of the bar who is kind of side-eyeing Seven, just a little bit, just long enough for you to clock him. Being intrigued, you wandered over, offered to buy him a drink, sat down, and had a conversation with this slightly older, gruff tiefling gentleman who you found out to be named Jasper. Um, upon having a conversation with him, you heard that he was kind of a hardworking kind of scrapper down here in Zepharel, working on gathering, bits and materials from outside of the city proper back for, different, construction, building materials, things of that nature. When cutting to the chase and asking why he was paying particular attention to your friend over there, he, after a couple drinks and not assessing you as a threat, let you know that he had never seen one walking before. That apparently things of Seven's make and model, or at least similar to enough that he took an eye to it, were in a large scrap yard outside of a couple days' travel outside of Zepharel. Curious, you brought Seven over, and a conversation was had, ending in the fact that Jasper, if you were willing to pay and, of course, accompany him, make your way outside of Zepharel to this junkyard to find this graveyard of Sevens. Knowing that you had other things to do the next day, you told Jasper you would meet back with him here at the Lava Hearth Tavern tomorrow evening. You went and got a long rest. You woke up the next day with things to do. Several of you headed over back to the kind of art, yeah, to the library to gather and do a little bit more research with your day. While Suji and Seven, you decided to follow the lava path up through the kind of mercantile district in search of Suji, you looking for a blacksmith, someone that piqued your interest, somebody who you could have a conversation with how they do things down here in Zepharel. You noticed several blacksmiths along this kind of running lava river, and they were using it as kind of the conduit for the heating element of their blacksmithing. Um, Following the pull of whether it be Hondrik or some other force, led you past some of these other blacksmiths out of town. An hour or so's travel, you found yourself a little bit away from the city proper to a smaller, less assuming hut, but you could see and smell the smoke coming off of it of smelted iron and metals and the familiar smells for you of a blacksmith. Suji and Seven, as you made your way inside, you found sitting at a smithing iron, kind of a broader shoulder, shorter gentleman, tiefling horns kind of pulled back and a long bushy beard. This appeared to be a dwarven lineage tiefling. Having a conversation with him, he introduced himself as Tenson Courtsbeard. Interested in the name, you eventually had a conversation with him, leading to the discovery that he was either a long lost or forgotten or hidden son of the Ashfeller Courtsbeards. Spent his time in the very estate that you helped the fake Courtsbeards rob the vault of. Meanwhile, over at the library proper, Saishori, Vinteth, Valir, and Ravi, you all started to take use of the sigils of the Brimstone family and the ability to take advantage of this outside information. You already found some information from this library that would not and could not be readily available topside. things of history long past, of dark periods of time that has been lost to the world or forbidden to be researched or talked about. You spent the better part of the next day doing a little bit of research on a multitude of topics, which I will, because we were wrapping up last time, I will give you the results of those searches right now before we jump back in. Robbie, you did a little bit of raw research and looking for anything you could find on the Luxfornan timepiece, looking for any indications of its past, use, significance, previous holders. And while not finding anything drastically different than anything you already found, you find bits and pieces of it's talking about this piece of long lost arcane tech that was passed on from Luxforna themselves onto one of his first followers. You get bits and pieces of things that you did not know before, that you had to find out from other sources that weren't written in books. The pieces of it being some sort of time manipulation, some sort of time dilation, that it can manipulate the person who's holding its time. Nothing too far outside of that, though, in your research here.
Okay.
Vinteth, you struggled to find any mention of a being or entity named Amon-Gor or any iteration of it. Frustrated, you kind of kept digging and looking and reading through books and passages that were passed on to you. You couldn't find the exact name, but somewhere deep in a tome of Fey Fiend and devil lineages, there's not a large passage, but you do find a piece on a bloodline, a family with the last name, or at least the surname of Gore. Not much is known, but it does exist.
Got it.
Saishori, unfortunately, there is no written record of Zelenkov here, or at least none that they are willing to offer to you at this time. Valir. As you start to research the aspects of the astral sea, about the planes beyond this one, where universes and planes sit, and kind of the space between planes, you find a lot of the general information that's already kind of accustomed to what the world knows about, that there are creatures and denizens of the astral sea, things like Githyanki and Githarai, astral dreadnoughts and beings of massive proportions. When looking into something specifically about travel, about how to get to the astral sea or how to traverse it itself, you find two interesting pieces of information. The first is how people, or how different scholars have tried to research the astral sea. The safest version, and I say safest in quotes, high-level mage is using astral projection, abilities to leave their physical forms behind to traverse the astral sea, to gather information about it. A dangerous peril that you kind of read into it, and you probably have to ask Ravi a little bit about the, arcane parts of it. That part of this travel is you create a tether that binds your astral projection to your body. And if that was to be severed, soul would essentially be lost in the astral sea. your body left useless. There are bits and pieces about travelers either from the astral sea or those that found a way to get to the astral sea physically. Portals. You start to see different translations of what the words are trying to say about like how you need to get there, how can you possibly break into the plane itself. And the different translations you see, ship, vessel, boat, some sort of raft even at times in the translations, that there is a certain type of thing that you can ride into the astral sea that can grant you passage. You're just not sure. It doesn't kind of note like where one would find this. Can one be built? But at least gives you an idea of it's possible. But as you are all finishing up your research for the day and gathering your different information and reading through different books, Elvira Brimstone came to the library to approach all of you, letting you know that she had received word that a decision has either been made or is being made very shortly on the assault of the mountains, of tracking down Zane and his crew and dealing with them once and for all. The thing that you all agreed to lead and help alongside um, Rexus, there's his name, alongside Rexus and some of the other highly trained tiefling soldiers to put an end to this particular group of horn hunters terrorizing the travel to Zephyr. You sent a message to Suji letting them know that you wanted to meet up at the Capitol within the next hour or so. You gathered your information and made your way out of the library towards the Capitol, or towards the town hall-esque where the elders meet. Suji and Seven, you bid Tenson a quick farewell and telling him you'd be back soon. You have time for the four of you that are leaving the library. If there's anything you want to discuss of the research you were doing, you have probably a good 20 minute to a half hour walk to get to where the elders were. But we will pick up after that where you all meet at the elders' capital.
I guess I would just comment on my research. And I don't know about the rest of you, but I was looking into Lux Faunus timepiece. Not much beyond what I've already found. Some sort of time manipulation. But honestly, as I read about this, I just speculate as to the ignorance of some of the Faltherian mages. Some of them not even believing in this sort of magic, and yet clear documentation in places as to what this magical artifact can do. I don't think the Faltherian academies are going to be much help with any of the questions upcoming for us. But, we'll see how it goes. Let's see if, shoot, sorry, I'm forgetting the main mage academy. I'm losing my mind, Roach.
Istrafala.
Istrafala, thank you. I'd imagine, despite what we've heard about Istrafala, that the mages there have more information. But anyway, did any of you have better success?
Absolutely not.
Mm.
At least not on this end. How about everybody else?
I got a hint. Confirmed something exists. That's about it.
Yeah,
Well,
not much on my end either. Just tales of people being able to travel the astral sea. Talking about some very high level mages using astral projection to send their astral selves into the sea. Sounds
Mhm.
kind of dangerous, but a bit interesting. A bit scary though, because if they somehow, lose that connection from their physical body to the astral one, they kind of get lost. The astral sea. But apparently there talks some ship or vessel, boat, whatever, something that could actually travel physically into the astral sea, which is pretty interesting to say the least. But
DM.
that's
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, that's it. That's about it.
I was gonna say, DM, do I have any familiarity with what he's referencing?
Give me a straight history check.
Okay. It's fine. We'll just keep it. Apparently, I'm not familiar with that sort of magic. Well, does sound interesting and dangerous. I guess my question is, why do you want to look into traveling to this place?
I necessarily don't, but you know, I ever since Vintef mentioned the grandfather and what he saw, it kind of just reminded me of like tales of like the Astro scene, how that looks. So, you know, just looking at options of anything else we can uncover relating to the millions of things that we found out in our little adventure. So,
Right.
yeah.
Sorry. One other thing, DM. Was it confirmed? I know that we saw the grandfather in his way here. Was it confirmed to us that that was the Astral Sea, or is that Valir making an assumption?
I don't think it was ever necessarily said. It was definitely discussed. Like you guys have talked about that, the fact that this thing was eating other earlies, passing through other planets. The idea of the astral sea being where it was implied, I guess.
Oh,
And
I see.
I think
Okay.
we kind of figured it out, but anytime I mentioned it, it was like the astral plane or whatever the fuck that was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see. Well, I hope whatever that thing is that Vinteth saw, that it doesn't come down to us having to physically travel to the astral plane to deal with it. But I guess it's good for us to have backups. Just
While they're talking about this, I'm just gonna
Absolutely.
adopt like 1,000 yard stare.
Absolutely. Well,
oh
thankfully we don't have contact with the grandfather or anything.
yes,
So we
thank
should be
goodness for that.
fine.
Oh, but Vinteth, you look like you've got 1,000-yard stare right now. Are you having flashbacks?
He's coming, and we're in hell. You do the math.
What if he also
Think
tells you
about
to go home?
what if when he consumes the planet, or if he consumes everything, maybe this is a place that's protected from said destruction. Just a thought. All I mean to say is let's stay friendly with the tieflings in case we need to escape to hell at some point. I don't know what the rules are for a planet-consuming monstrosity. Who's to say the hells aren't protected?
That
Hell
is
adjacent.
a good question. How is the realm of hell related to our physical plane on Zelenkov? You get what I'm saying? Like if Zelenkov is destroyed,
I do.
is hell, the hell that we're in Zephyr, is it also destroyed? Is it a separate thing from the planet? And if that is a thing, and now that I've seen multiple planets, are there just like multiple planets versions of hell out there?
Very good questions. Any insights, Shori? Do you know if this place is protected? If the worst were to happen up there?
I kind of just look over to Draconis. Do you have any insight?
Huh. I mean, I suppose that's a good question. I mean, as far as I know, the planes are. As far as I know, the planes are separate but intertwined. But it would. Does every plane have? Does every planet have its own planes? Does every planet have its own intelligent life? Does hell exist? Do gods exist? Huh.
We know hell exists.
We know
We're
gods
here.
exist.
But do other
We've
hells exist?
seen them.
Is it one hell for all planets, or is it
Hmm.
separate hells for each planet? This is a very theological discussion here. This is
Imagine if every planet has its own tieflings and they all look different.
Huh.
All right, I think we've blown Draconis's mind. Give him some time to think about that.
So I guess the most ideal way to do this is we go to hell proper and talk to a bunch of dead souls. We find out what planet they came from. We can then find out if any of them came from a different planet.
Are we about to go on a road trip?
I mean, I do not suggest going to hell unless we have to. This is already pretty close for probably most of you. But it is intriguing. It's an intriguing thought experiment.
If imminent danger / destruction weren't on its way, I would love to have this discussion in depth. I don't like any of this.
You sure he's a bad guy?
I want to go home.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Are you sure he's a bad
Who is the
guy?
bad guy? The planet-consuming monstrosity. That's who we're referencing right now.
I mean, how do you know it wasn't a dream or something?
I was
Elaine?
inside the mother's blood, Zaishori. It was a warning. From
Was he
Soren
really
Lin.
consuming
My
planets?
god. What do you mean?
Was it really consuming planets?
I
Or was it going
didn't
through
lie.
planets?
I didn't lie. I swear on the mother, I did not lie. That is what she showed me.
You know, I guess that is a fair question, Vinteth. Was it clear from the visions that this entity was actually consuming what it passed through?
That's sure as shit what it looked like.
I see. Okay, just trying to be intellectually honest.
Fair, but with my moral perceptions, that is exactly what it looked like.
Sashori, I know there's been some moral ambiguity since we've started this journey, but yes, with Vinteth's vision, I would say that the entity consuming planets on its way here is probably not the good guy.
All I really have to say is that if it's a threat to the gods themselves, who the fuck are we?
Well, apparently, as we've learned so clearly over the last few days, cannon fodder for the eventual war between gods that fuels this plane.
Precisely. Maybe we should just go full nihilism. Why fight it at all? Just let it happen. Nothing to do with us.
Hell no. If that thing wants to come here and consume the gods who wish to use us as their pawns, then by all means, at this point, I might be okay with that. Could wrap my head around.
No.
But if he's coming for all of us, then he is the enemy of all.
He's coming for the mother, therefore the enemy. He's the enemy of all elves. Never mind just humans.
What
and
if?
humanoids.
But let me propose to you something, Vinteth. What if the grandfather were to come here, consume Soren Lin and the rest of the gods, but leave the elves alone? Would you take that trade?
No.
Why not?
My life is Soren Lin's. I fight for Soren Lin. I am here because of Soren Lin.
If she is truly the mother of elves, shouldn't she wish to protect her children?
I believe that's exactly what she's doing by showing me these visions. But instead of figuring out what the fuck's going on with that, we're in hell. No offense, Aishori. No offense. I just believe there are more.
Elevation.
I just believe there are more pressing matters than all of this. But apparently, it's all connected. So I'm just along for.
It does seem to be. Look, maybe the Zane stuff isn't the most pressing in the grand scheme of all, but I think the alliance with the Tieflings is very beneficial to all of us. Notwithstanding Zaishori's relationship with them and this potential thing with the council. But more importantly, if we have to deal with a potential rogue god, I'd like to learn the history of the one being here who is supposedly meant to fight them. I don't think we're wasting time.
I hope not. My main thought on the matter, and I'm going to look around at the group and look at Elvira. I believe our part here is mostly done, and we're here for information, make alliances, and get on. Zane, we got Zaishori back, we got our stuff back, we saved the Tieflings. I believe our hand in it. Over, done. We can make good, get some info, meet the Tieflings, make alliances. I believe we should be out of here and have nothing to do with the raid on Zane. That's my thoughts. If the party wants to do it, I'm with the party. I'm helping. Just this serves as a reminder. Grandfather cometh. I'm just gonna walk off.
I would feel more confident if we were assured in a way, if we understood how we could actually kill him. And I'm not sure right now we do. That's something we need to discuss with the council. If they have a plan, if we feel in that way, if we feel they're confident, then I'm more than willing to do so. If not, if we feel they're sending a pittance of a force and they're just throwing us out there to die, then we move on. I turn to Zaishori. I understand what I'm proposing here, but you've seen the competence level so far, and I would hope you would also agree that they need to elevate that to our standards if they expect us to risk our lives in this venture.
No, I can definitely agree. My goal here is just to make sure that I can leave my people protected. And honestly, if the grandfather's here to take the gods, I'm kind of okay with that.
I'm walking away. I hear her say that to her and say, "You fucking would be," and I just keep going.
Wow.
Just turn to 7. We'll fight the gods
Ice.
someday.
You really are ice cold towards that Zena, aren't you?
Wait, were me
Oh.
and 7 in this room yet? Or
You weren't quite
Right.
here. These was kind of like the walk and talk, and you guys are coming from a different section, but you will be
Yeah,
meeting up
figured.
very shortly. Yeah.
Okay. That's all I got.
DM, just out of curiosity, I want to telepathically talk to Draconis and ask him if our talks were in the astral plane, if that's where he pulled me into.
Did I
If
pull
you
you
would
into the
know.
astral plane?
Yeah, like how did our talks happen? Like my physical body, I would assume, was in bed. And then somehow I was also talking to you in my sleep. Did you pull me into a different plane?
Was your physical body in bed?
Draconis.
You fought in those dreams. You felt pain, didn't you?
Yes.
I mean, that could be an active imagination. I
Okay.
really don't know.
I was gonna say, you must be some time god if you can pull me into the past all of a sudden.
God, I hope not. Ugh. Time travel is icky. It's always messy.
Tell that to Robbie.
Well, he's not afraid of getting a little dirty, isn't he?
Accurate. Okay.
An idea occurs to me. I'm gonna spin around, be like Shuri, hold on. You're fine with the gods disappearing, right? You just said that, but you fight for your
Yeah.
people. How are you going to
Yeah.
fight for your people without the power of the gods? Without Zinna's power?
Who?
Do you remember when you had your little period of, let's call it, impotence?
Oh my gosh. Sure.
Yet you're saying you're fighting for your people. What are you going to do without Zinna's power? You're fighting for the tiefling, sure. I'm fighting for fucking everyone! The mother is the goddess of death.
Everyone.
All
or
the
your
souls,
mother?
all souls go to the mother. Elf, human, tiefling, all of them. It's the natural order.
So you're very impassioned.
Vinteth, we have discovered that the souls existed here prior to our concept of what we know of these gods. It might have not been, the life as we know it, but something existed here.
Sure, a
These
different
gods may be
god.
powerful, but they are
A
not
different
all
god. They're, as far as I understand it, souls don't just exist on their own. Someone has to shepherd them. Whether it was the mother or whatever god before her, it was a god. Something bigger than us. Whether you want to believe that or not, Robbie, I know you really don't, despite what you've.
I've told you that I believe that even if she is the creator, that we do not need to follow her. Creator of elves, that we do not need to follow her this way. And I believe that if she were, let me ask you, if she were to disappear, do you believe that elves would simply no longer be able to reproduce? That we would go extinct? If she is as you describe her to be, then I would hope she is willing to lend all of her power, up into and including her own life, if necessary, to save this plane from whatever is coming.
I would hope so too, but then what happens to all souls? What happens to us when we die? What happens to all the unborn? Can we reproduce? We don't know. It very well could be the destruction of all no life as we know it. We don't know. We don't have an answer to that. And that terrifies me more than just losing Soren Lin.
The questions are concerning, but if someone like her was able to elevate herself to that position before, who's to say the process couldn't be recreated?
Remember, a human became a god.
That is my point. Who knows, Vinteth? Maybe you'll be the shepherd of the elves.
Already thinking it. Not saying that out loud, but already thinking it. I would never dare replace the mother. If she charged me with that,
we'll all be okay.
If she charged me with that, I would take the mantle. But it is not something I aspire to be.
I see.
You have all matured quite a lot since the last time I've met you.
I'm gonna side eye Binta.
Last we met, you were all pups with questions and wandering around. Nice that you have seen some of the world.
Maybe a bit too much. So much more to go.
Isn't that how it always is? I would say about this time, you probably are coming close to where the intersection is. To you can see kind of in the short distance, the the Elder's Tower. Not hard to see a giant 7 start to turn a corner. Suji at his side.
We're both meeting each other with guilty looks.
Hey guys, so how did the library go?
Some hits, some misses.
Yeah, not the worst, but could be better. You, how was your making weapons? Did you make anything for 7? Kind of looking at
Discover-
7, see if you got anything new.
Discover any new techniques?
We didn't.
Perhaps?
So I kept looking and looking to find something, and I didn't even realize how much time passed. But we traveled pretty far outside the town, and we found this awesome dwarf, and he seems really skilled. And I think I'm gonna be staying back while you guys go on your little mini adventure to help make this massive sword for him. I think it's gonna be pretty awesome.
It's
Is
bigger
it
than
just
I
going
am.
to be about learning for you, or is he going to be compensating you in some way for the service?
Oh, it's mostly learning. Like he's definitely very skilled, very good. He knows all about Hondrick. Oh, he was actually one of the court spirits that lived in that house we
What?
raided.
The hell do
Yeah,
you mean he's one of the quartz beards?
he was their son.
Yeah,
Like
he's
the
like
real
half
ones,
tiefling,
not
half
the.
yeah, like real, like the
It's real
actual
court spirits.
original court spirits.
Oh shit! Was he pissed we robbed his family?
Well, the Pauldrons kind of gave it away, but he seemed pretty
Oh.
okay with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
He didn't know
as long
Pyro.
as you
Yeah, that was the
promise you'll-
craziest part. He had no clue what pyro was.
But yeah,
Really?
he
Even
made
he
those
didn't know.
traps. Yeah, but he made the traps in the basement.
Oh. He
Yeah.
can create traps that conjure elementals.
I'm just looking at Suji. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't question it too much since it kind of blew me away. But I guess he might be an alchemist as well. Maybe I should double check with that.
No. He has this 10-foot long sword. It's
Can
very
he
good.
wield it?
I probably can. I don't think you can.
I didn't say me, I said him.
Oh.
I know I couldn't wield it. So
Well, I'm glad you're back safely. I'm assuming, did he ask about the other court spirits? Like, how did that go?
Well, he obviously asked, and we said, we found fake court spirits, but we never seen real court spirits, so he assumed they're dead.
Yeah.
He was a little down on it, but it kind of went by pretty quickly.
Then we told him we killed the fake ones. He was okay with that.
Yeah, we tried to make it not sound like we just blatantly robbed the shit out of them.
No,
oh good.
Yeah.
I'm
I
glad
will
you
hope so.
spun that. So
Yeah.
little positive spin can go a long way.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if we are gonna tell you we met another court spirits. Looks at Suji.
Well, I mean, he's a real one, and technically we never met a real one.
Wonder
Yeah,
if he made my
that's-
shield.
Look, as long as we're not going to come back here, Suji, and find your corpse, I think we're fine. I just wanted to make sure that we're not going to face any consequences from that little endeavor.
Well, Vintoth, he actually does specialize in defensive items, so maybe he did. Probably did. Does it have any little etchings or marks on it?
I'm gonna hand my shield to Suji and let him figure it out. He's the master blacksmith.
Do you know his sigil?
No, but I'm a master blacksmith, so I can always investigate.
Sure, give me an
Oh
investigation
yes.
check.
13.
The shield is indeed signed with a marking on it. You don't know whose, but it is marked. It is signed by a crafter of some kind.
Okay, at least have visual representation of it.
Yeah. Someone signed their work. You don't know who the someone is, but you at least now know if you see it again, you can identify it.
No.
Gotcha, gotcha.
You know what, Suji? Before you go back to talk with him, I'll let you take the shield with you. Maybe he can polish it up and make it shine. Give us some insight.
Should I have him engrave the crest of the mother onto it?
Yes, actually.
Oh, you want to just use it as a shield and defile the crest of the mother? It's pretty fucking. Never mind. Okay, so we ready to meet with elders?
I think so. Don't forget, in addition to this talk on Zane and the Horn Hunters, we also need to give Zaishurin the chance to ask about was it the elders, the families, you know the deals actually.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I have a claim to be an elder, and I hope they also agree.
Let's wait on that until after we figure out the Zane
Of course.
plan, I think. Right. Okay. Well, I'm ready.
All right, let's head in. Yes.
After you.
You all make your way through the familiar courtyard, in through the front doors of the Elder's Tower. Passing by a little later in the day here is the hustle and bustle of the first floor has seemed to have calmed down a little bit. There's still some business still taking place. Not needing much of an escort other than Elvira, you make your way up to a familiar set of spiral staircases all the way up to the top floor of the tower. Passing through the same hallway you originally came through, passing the stained glass windows and large paneled windows that you got your first look of Zepharel proper through. You find yourself once again on the other side of a large set of double doors. Elvira looks back at you. All right, you ready for this?
I nod.
Let's do this.
Yeah. Exactly my thoughts.
Very well. See, she pushes on the door. They open, and you enter into the same circular chamber you were here but a few days ago. Day ago. Elvira steps forward. Greetings, elders of Zepharel, presenting as requested. Uh, the magnificent, or seven's deadly sins. I'm gonna fucking it up all the time.
My
It's
bad.
fine.
My bad. That
You got
was
me
probably
thinking
my
about it
fault.
today.
Yeah.
Seven's deadly sins. She kind of bows slightly and gestures for all of you to make your way center of the chamber. As you take your place, you see all five of the elders taking their places amongst their different thrones and seats here in the chamber itself. Hushed whispers that were taking place before you arrive come to an end as they all kind of push to their own seats. Um, you see Yuki kind of gives a slight curtsy, greets you all. Yes, thank you all for coming back. I know it's only been a short time, but we understand time was of the essence and wanted to make sure you are kept in the loop of potential plans and planning for the endeavor we had spoken about. So please come in. A conversation I think needs to be had on the matter. So, as we discussed, as originally we agreed upon, um, we would not leave the Zane matter up in the air. We will be taking care of it using our guard and you as kind of the tip of the spear, as it were. You see, as she's kind of gathering her thoughts, Rexus kind of steps up. Damn straight, it's already been too long. I can gather 100 of our best by tomorrow and make the move. Alexis, we understand your eagerness to get this matter done quickly. Unfortunately, we need to take other things into consideration. Uh, the kind of paley green skin, Hylas, kind of like, yes, we can't just be marching 100 of our best through the waste right now. Unless you have a better way of transporting 100 soldiers through the waste to the mountain range, I don't see how we have any other choice. We all already voted on this and agreed that the best course of action is to swiftly take care of this Zane. He's a threat to anybody coming here. He's a threat to our numbers.
Well, why exactly is it a problem to simply march through the waste? We're not talking about that long a journey.
No, of course not. It's not that long of a journey. It's not a journey we're not opposed of taking. It's other things need to be considered. You can't hide simply a marching army of 100 soldiers. If any of the neighboring civilizations were to have their sights on the waste at this particular time, if it gets back to Falfir or the Trag that a marching army of tieflings was making their way through the waste towards civilization, don't you think that that's going to cause some red alarms? Unneeded, unnecessary things? We can't just act recklessly. The longer we wait, the longer we give him time to regroup and fortify his position. I do not understand why we don't just go now. I hate waiting. Yes, and that's why you will always. You have no foresight. Let the army be led by those who actually have a brain between their ears.
No need to insult the man for seeing the threat in front of him. And he is, in fact, a threat. On that note, I would like to understand my primary concern is whether your elite, your 100 best, or anyone on this council has experience killing a devil such as they. What exactly that entails.
You see kind of the yellow skinned tiefling Maverin steps kind of leans forward. Well, you see, that is also kind of, you know, kind of part of the reason for caution. Nobody here has actually dealt with a devil. Not personally. We should do research. We should find a way to actually take care of the threats, not just push it around. The little we know about devils kill them here, it's not going to die. It's going to return home. As far as I understand, if it returns home, it can come back. So what are we going to do? Continuously kill this Zane fellow every time he pops his head? Or are we going to actually have a strategy for dealing with this thing?
Seven raises his hand.
So polite.
I could eat him, and he will not come back.
That
Right? That,
might work.
yeah.
You see at least two people on the council look at him like,
I know this sounds strange, but he's not crazy. While we don't fully understand it, Seven is able to consume matter in a way that does not make sense with the physical nature of the laws of this plane. Whether that means the matter is being transported elsewhere or simply being eliminated in some fashion. We've seen it.
Yeah. I don't poop.
Multiple occasions.
I don't know where it goes.
see, Leola laughs, just giggles, just. He says poop. Rexus would step forward. See that? They already got a plan.
Now, I didn't say we don't know for sure that's going to work. Rexus, I respect your desire to go as quickly as possible and deal with this threat, but the less enthusiastic members of the council do at least have some merit to what they're saying. We should understand how to deal with this devil, and we should have backup plans in case our initial strategy fails.
If we kill him and he comes back, we just need to kill him again. I don't understand. We take the mountain, we make it into our stronghold, our fortified front base. He'll have nowhere to come to. Yes, take the mountain by force. Once again, do you not understand what would happen if the rest of the world sees a sitting army of tieflings? Do you not understand the position we find ourselves in? Our number grow weaker and weaker by the century. And you want
Valir,
to
Do optics matter?
endanger us now.
I will just whisper to Valir as I have the chance. Is this anything from a political standpoint you might be able to smooth out? Does your father have any sort of connection there?
He might know people. He's more of a businessman, but uh, we could figure something out if it comes to it.
I'll whisper to Ravi.
I do,
Sorry. Do you still have the shackles?
I do, but he's not an elemental. We could
That was
try
a
them.
genie.
Oh, yes, I get. You're right. I guess to be fair, I don't fully understand the use of the shackles.
So hold off on that, but
It could hold the devil. It could fail entirely. It's a good backup plan, though.
okay. I still like eating him better, but that's yours is probably a safer option.
If we were counsel, if we were able to restrain him somehow, do you have a place he could be kept so he simply could not revive? A prison capable of holding him?
Mavrin will smile way too large.
I don't like that.
I love that.
Oh, a prison. Oh, that is something that can certainly be arranged.
I whisper to Seven, did you use the wand on?
No. I already used it.
Oh, in the deepest pits of hell. Ah, been quite some time since I've visited the warden.
With that, now I just stare at Vintith.
Do you care to share with the rest of us this warden, capabilities of said prison?
Oh. Not much that I can disclose, but those in hell are quite accustomed and capable of binding some of the more atrocious souls somewhere where they need to be locked away and tortured for their sins. Yes, Maverin's lust aside, we do have places that he could be held if we were able to capture him in some way. Um, Again, we have not done the research that we would need yet, but it is not uncommon of hearing of different binding rituals and summons and things that have been able to capture powerful devils or demons or angels on some occasions. Um,
Amongst your 100 elites, I was told you do not have those of a magical nature like myself, those of the book, but you do have those who have made magical pacts. Sorry, DM, I'm kind of metagaming. Am I familiar with the idea of the spell planar binding? I'm basically, before I ask this question, I'm about to ask.
Give me an Arcana check.
Okay.
I'll give you a shot at it.
20.
I would say you're definitely familiar with this, at least the notion. You're not may not know the spell name, but you are understand that that is something that can be done.
To my understanding, there is some sort of magic that could hold the devil like him on this plane, possibly allow us to transfer him properly, make sure he can't escape. Do you have any magical, those with magical abilities who are capable of doing so? Those who will be accompanying us on this journey.
Well, that is certainly something that we could investigate. I don't know off the top of my head anybody who has that particular set of skills, but if one of our sorcerers was capable of it, we could definitely make sure they were available. Again, another reason why we can't just send the 100 best Rexes, because best to you is raw physical strength. Okay, I get it. How much time do you need?
I'm gonna whisper, like, what about Babby?
Did Babby leave, or is he's still here, right?
Last you checked, Sunny, Babby, and Simon were still topside. You guys did not bring them down to hell. Um,
We can ask him.
I would say about this time, Vinteth, you feel something on your hip getting hot, which is strange for the fact that you are in hell.
Oh, how could we
Yeah.
possibly forget?
I didn't forget. I was waiting for
it.
I've been silently waiting for my buddy to pop up and make a comment about where we are. I'll just put my hand on the hilt and pat. Say something.
I mean, we can talk here if you want, or we can wait till later, but depending on how powerful this Zane fella is, there may be a way for him to find himself in a familiar predicament.
I am picking up with
I know I'm gonna
this.
regret this later, but I fucking love Armacle.
Would this coincidentally be the way to free you and trap him? Drew?
It's certainly a loophole that we could definitely explore. It has its dangers, but sounds like y'all in a predicament where you need a very powerful soul trapped in something that you can control. And if it just so happens to be the reason I get out of here, I think I would consider us square.
That was the. I see. Not try that plan.
Well, I don't know if something you want to talk about in front of all these highbrow folk, but just figured I'd throw my hat in the ring while we were discussing options.
Bring it up with the group. But one quick question. Is there any reason between you and me that I should not bring you up to them? Would they know you?
Again, I've been sealed for so long, I don't know who does and doesn't remember who I am.
Full
I could
transparency.
have.
I tried to look into you at the library. I found one mention of the name Gore. That was it. So
Oh,
it stands to assumption that they have no idea who the fuck you are.
that may be. And they probably don't. I can't speak to the ones they serve.
Fair.
So I don't know who I may or may not have pissed off along the way. So for your own safety, maybe just keep my name on the hush hush.
It'll do. Didn't trigger any. Probably should have asked you before I do it. Curiosity got.
No worries, Sinteth. It's that inquisitive nature, I think, that got us here in the first place. So I think we can let this one slide.
All right. Meeting.
Looking forward to it. Meanwhile, back in the meeting,
Rabble.
so we have several potential things that we can investigate here. It's going to take us some time. I will put this to you, Zaishoi, as the one closest to this. We can't expect you all to stay here. I know you have your own things you need to accomplish and do. What timetable would be acceptable for the rest of you? How long would you allow us to do the research that we need to? And you may do research on your own, of course. I like the idea of setting a strike date. I don't want to sit here and say, oh, we will move at the end of the week. I think we need time. I think we need preparations. If we get there and they have left, no harm, no foul. They're gone. We'll keep an eye out for them. Even if they have fortified the position, again, moving forward with 100 of our best, plus yourselves, I don't believe there's anything that can hold up to that, as long as we move quickly and quietly, once the day comes. Is there a time frame for, and you may discuss this with your friends, we can take a brief recess after this if needed. Is there a time frame that makes sense for all of you? I don't want to keep you hostage here in Zephrel. I don't want to keep you having to come back here in a week or so. My gut says
Yeah.
a month. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, how long did we say it was gonna take to get to, or that guy tell us it was gonna take to get to, the place where he saw, like, the corpses of Sevens?
3 to 4
graveyard?
days there and back, so it'll probably take you about a week, give or take, how long you stay there and investigate.
Mm. I think giving some time for Seven. I just whispered it. I think giving some time for Seven's situation. I think we could be fine with it. 2 weeks.
Yeah.
1
And
week
also,
travel there and back, and it gives us enough time to account for anything that may happen.
right. And it also gives us more time to explore their library as well for more information. Doesn't hurt.
We
And-
should we should do our due diligence on whatever they may be.
Yeah.
I may have a solution to the Zane problem. I'm just gonna stare straight
Do you
ahead and
wanna
not elaborate.
Well, I look forward to hearing it.
And Suji, I'm
Dude.
assuming you're gonna be with the court spirits. With the court spirit.
The
Singular.
court beard. Singular
you-
beard.
Do is this too much time? Should we give them the full month if they feel that's what they need, or should we push to do this within 2 weeks?
Well, we can't do it on our own, and I really don't give a shit what happens. Now, I might be a little bit more.
Okay.
I mean, we have other time limit type things we need to do as well, unfortunately.
Someone remind me how long Valir's situation has to resolve. I'm sorry, it's been a little bit.
I think we had 6 months, right?
Is it
You had
only
six-
6 months?
Correct.
6 months.
Motherfuck.
To be fair, it's only been 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, I figured it was like 2 weeks.
But we're talking about giving up. So talking about giving up a month
It's true.
to make this happen.
And did
Good
we
move.
do anything with the vendor in the town with the eye drops, or were we holding off? On
No,
that?
we talked about potentially doing that, but the ethereal plate like eye drops, but I gotta look back at my notes. I know we said we weren't gonna do it and we were gonna hold off, but there was a reason. Like we knew
Well, we
somebody
didn't want to
better.
get scammed by some random person.
Yeah.
It was also
Okay.
doing when we found out to do it.
Valia, your family situation is important. I feel your voice should carry some weight here when it comes to the time you're simply divvying out.
Right.
Save this for the to the count.
Oh. Yeah, we could talk later. And I'm also curious now, Vincef, why to change the tune that you're okay standing here longer. That's we'll talk.
It reminds
We'll
him
talk
of the
after.
basement.
Do you require? Would you like a room to recess to? We can pick back up in, say, a half hour or so.
That would be
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Very well. This council meeting is currently adjourned for the next half hour for deliberations. We will meet back here in about 30 minutes. You have access to, Yuki kind of points off to one of the side chambers. Feel free to use this chamber as you see fit, and we will be discussing ourselves.
I need to go to the bathroom.
All right.
Oi.
But you are all led off to, I thought 7 didn't poop.
Nice.
7's a girl?
But yeah, you're all led off to
Right.
a side chamber. The door closes behind you.
As we go into the chamber, I was saying, look, I know I'm a talker in there sometimes, probably just because I respond very viscerally to the bickering and the bullshit. But that said, again, I think Valia, and of course you, Shori, I think your voices are the two most important in the room right now. Valia, your matter is time sensitive. Shori, this is your people. So let's figure this out.
If they feel like
How-
they need a month, then I feel we should give them a month, but we also can't spend a month just twiddling our fingers around here. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Especially if we're on a time limit for Valier's thing.
Yeah. I'm okay giving them some time. I know
Hey,
my stuff, it's in a deadline, but at the same time, thinking long term, if we clear Sane out and his army, it'll be less hassle for us to traverse and go back. Because if they find us, I'm pretty sure they're gonna try to ambush us and try to kill us. It'll be less risky, and it'll probably save us more time to spend some time now than try to brute force our way through in case I'm sure he's pissed off now. So
You just see Ravi with the 1,000-yard stare, like,
Pissed off, you think?
yeah, so
I yes, probably.
I
He did seem very explicit that he was going to see us again.
yeah, so that's my concern. Like I appreciate you guys considering, my family's timeline, but I feel we could gamble a little bit more time just to make sure we have safe passage through this and have one less thing to worry about. One less big thing to worry about. Because who knows the extent of Zane's power.
Well, as for dealing with him, here's an idea. And I'm just going to hold up the hammer, flip it over, and just look around the room, look at the stone, look around the room, look at the stone. Huh?
Are you
Oh, the stone on the hammer.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh yeah, 'cause you've told us we know what he
Yeah.
does, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we know
Wait,
that he's
you
imprisoned
think
in the gem, in the hammer.
Is he capable? This is not some garden variety, bandit we're dealing with here.
Do you think that
seeking?
Armangor is a common variety bandit?
No, I'm saying that sometimes the souls that you have given him to join with, consume.
No. You're misunderstanding, Rob. This is 2 birds, 1 literal stone. I'm proposing that there might be a way to swap Zane's soul for Armand's.
So transferring this Armand Gore, who admittedly has been helpful, but that we don't really know much about.
No, but the deal was to
Into
help
the
him be
body of a-
released.
But transferring him to the body of a powerful devil. Is that
Who says he needs to transfer his body? I mean, I'll speak with him more about the details, nitty gritty. But I was under the assumption that we would just be swapping soul for soul and reincarnate as himself, whatever the fuck he is.
Oh, I see.
Whether
What
or
is
not
he?
Zane's going to be cooperative once he's in the gem is another matter. So I may be sacrificing some of my digitally borrowed power from Zane Armon, but it does solve the immediate problem of finding a way to stop Zane from reincarnating.
Worst case scenario, I could eat your hammer too.
That is an option. Or you
Good
could just,
idea.
eat the gem.
Yeah.
I guess so I have two main questions. What's our primary plan here? If we have to pick something, a strategy we're going with first, are we going to try to get Seven to consume him? Do we try to shackle him first and let the tieflings imprison him? Or do we do whatever this is on? And personally, I'm not sure I would vote for that for the first choice.
It's
But-
my first choice. I mean,
Really?
giving him over to
I'm
the
glad it's an
tieflings as a
option.
prisoner is, the morally correct choice to let them torture and get whatever information they have him for being a horn hunter. But, this solves one of my problems. I like that.
But do you know why Armand Gore is a prisoner?
Doesn't concern me.
What do you? It may concern all of us.
You might be unleashing hell on Earth.
We don't know anything about our own history, and you want to release this unknown, again, powerful entity when we already have several powerful entities that we're trying to worry about right now. I just want to understand that.
Would you like to argue your case through me, Armand? I'm sure you're listening.
Of course he is. And I think if he is as cunning as you seem to describe him as, would think me an idiot for not considering these precautions.
Vintev. In the back of your head. I certainly don't mind having the conversation, but y'all are way too trusting.
Trusting in who? You or in general? Because I trust absolutely nobody. I just tend to go with the decisions of the party.
Really? 5 super powerful political figures put you in a room and not one of you swept the fucking place. Children. Every last one of you.
Fair assessment. He's called us children because we were put in a room with 5 of the most powerful tieflings that we know to exist, and we did not search the room for what exactly, Armand? Other entities?
He does not respond.
What exactly does Armand do? Then one of them is a traitor to their own people. He can walk away from this. He may be right. Maybe it was a mistake to not attempt to swing the ring. But also, this is their territory. And anything we do that can be construed as betrayal of their trust could certainly put us in hot water for the alliance to come. If he has a quick and simple solution to that problem, I would love to hear it. Otherwise, I just think he's stirring shit.
I'm 5 months old.
Oh, 7.
I don't know what we would be sweeping the room. Would you care to enlighten me? Politics, well, maybe slightly my foray, dealing with church officials and, Crowan's followers and things, isn't exactly on the same playing field as tiefling demigods, I guess you could consider them. At least in political power.
I mean, to give him some
He-
credit,
so-
wasn't
so
Foreign
he's-
Senegal right next to you at one point and you didn't know?
That is a very good point.
Well, and why? I mean, we've talked about the eye drops and methods to deal with this, but we're trying to deal with a lot of things at once. Look, there are things I could be worried about in that room, but do we want to go in there into this council room and immediately start demanding the ability to perform spellcraft around them?
I mean, for our own sake, he has a point. It is politics. For all we know, none of them could be true allies to each other. Never mind us.
Considering how they act around us, it's a valid concern. I mean, they're barely civil in front of us.
I like 2 of them.
Rexus and who?
Leola.
That makes sense.
He's not electing to speak further, so I think he's
Right.
made his point.
Well, anyone want me to attempt to sneak back in there and magically sweep the room?
I mean,
I could do so.
I would
and
probably
potentially threaten.
ask permission to do so. I'd hope they wouldn't take it as a slight. I might counsel with Elvira before bringing it up, but it's definitely something we should probably do. Especially if the mysterious entity in my hammer is suggesting it, calling us children.
That's probably the yellow one.
I will only
Draconis.
I will only concede that it makes sense. He would want us to succeed, since obviously our success could lead to his freedom.
Yes, Valia.
What are your thoughts? How do you feel about the council?
Well, they did betray my employer, locked her away into the abyss, and for the most part, as far as I know, can't confirm this. Eliminated every remaining version of her bloodline, other than Saishori. So, not a fan.
It's 2 points for me.
And also, I don't know. I don't want to agree with the floating head in a gem hammer. I don't know. I don't think he meant. You see Draconis start to look around. I don't think he meant the council chambers.
Yeah, we're idiots.
Also number. Well, here's a proposal for everyone, and I will simply write down on a piece of paper, and it basically says, "We sweep it now, and if we find anything, we walk."
All right, a little check mark.
I mean, that's fair. Trying to click my fucking spell list and loading the page.
I'm just gonna start us off with a detect magic. No ritual. I'm just gonna cast it.
Okay. Other than the things that you would expect to see on your party's persons, you do not get any detection of magical means here.
Okay, that's one possible check. How big's the room?
This side chamber, about 20-foot diameter, 40 feet, any given direction, or 40 feet across.
Got it. Okay. No, if there's. Oh wait, I guess. Right. With a detect magic, would I detect someone who's using invisibility in the room, or would that not?
Yes. Yeah, because they're still on this plane. So you'd still
Okay.
get the ping of the spell.
Well, at least I can say, no, no arcane eyes, no one looking in that way, but no one invisible within the room.
Right about
But
now, I wish we had
theoretically-
those Thero eye drops.
Yes, because given their power, if someone were on the ethereal plane, we couldn't detect them.
Well, I guess for now we're gonna have to. That's good enough.
It could make some people invisible, even though it seems like a weird target, but if Seven has his boots that make his steps silent, it might be useful.
I'm wearing the spider boots. Raleigh has the quiet boots.
Elvin Khan.
Yeah.
Anything further, Armand?
If he's not willing to speak up further, then I say he's the backup plan. If you're able to swap him, but until we get more details, let's put that on the reserve. We can feed him to Seven. We can shackle.
Yeah.
The other question is, what we're asking from the council. We've offered our help, but for what? Do we simply wish to hold a favor with them for the future? I don't necessarily mean to ask for direct payment. I think some sort
Favors
of
are good.
alliance could be. What?
Favors are good.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. But if anyone has anything concrete they'd like to ask for, this would be the time.
Maybe full access to all their information. There's some things
Ooh.
people weren't able to read,
Oh.
so
Zaishori, the restricted records.
she's in the bathroom right now.
Oh, okay. Well, when she's back, yes. I'm Mhm.
The restricted toilet paper.
Oh no.
The sacred parchment.
Yeah.
I mean,
Vintef.
yeah.
Well, as I've said before, Vintef, I have no ill will against this world or any of you. Our deal is simple. I grant you abilities and power for my release. And when I get out of here, whether you want to help me or not, I will see the death of the bloodline of the Kreska. That's the only thing I need.
I am more than willing to accomplish. Yeah, he just wants his original deal to go through. He says he holds no ill will. You know, disbelieve him. He was sealed by the Crest guys. He wants his revenge and freedom. Who wouldn't want that?
Why? Maybe we should look into what has he told you about why he was sealed?
I don't remember if he ever went into detail. I don't think he did.
The story you were told by him was a long time ago. Amon and one of the ancestors of the Kreskai family got into some altercation, some fight, and Amon won, chose not to take the Kreskai's life. Humiliated, he came back with friends and sealed him.
Got it. Yeah, I'll relay that. I see only fault in the humans. Only fault in the Crest guys.
So we let him out, and best case scenario, he just eliminates a powerful magical weapon. I mean, I don't know much about the Cresco, but maybe we should look into that in our time in the library first.
I mean, there's no guarantee that he even wins against the Crest. Who knows how strong they've become now compared to their ancestors. He just wants his freedom as far as his issue with them is a moot point.
Does he have... Are there any records on him? Anywhere we could go for that info? If he really is just simply this innocent person who was ganged up on and locked away, he shouldn't have any issue with us researching him.
Well, I did mention to him that I did some research, and he seems to think that most people who would even remember him that he's been sealed so long are no longer.
So we just have to decide if we want to take the chance. How would this work exactly? Has he described the process? How would we seal? How would we trade Zane's soul for his?
I'm just gonna rest my hand on the gem.
With force?
No force. Just light rest, maybe a couple drum rolls with the fingers. 4 is yours, Amon.
This...
The 4 is in my head.
So 2 weeks?
It would require us to be able to enact at least a partial version of the sealing ritual that bound me. Basically, we're trying to recreate it to an extent to allow us to weaken the connection that I have to the gem and allow another to be forcefully taken my place.
And what happens? Do you inhabit his here?
Theoretically, I should be released or destroyed. I'm not sure which at this point. Depends on how lucky we get, but it's been so long, I'm willing to give it a try.
He says he's not even sure if he's going to be destroyed if he's released and Zane's forced into the gem or not. But he wants to try it anyway. And I don't blame him.
Does that mean it's possible? It's possible that it will work at all. The sealing Zane.
Yeah, that is a possibility. Says that we'd be recreating to an extent the ritual that sealed him in the first place. So in this hypothetical, we, either us, Abby, maybe whatever other mages, would be performing a ritual. Yeah. So it seems the plan to bind him would be step 1.
I see. Okay, well, after this, we should reach out to the surface and see if Abby is capable of this. DM, you said Sunny, to our knowledge, is still here too?
The last you
Okay.
guys left, Sunny, Babby, and Simon were topside. Yeah.
So we'll see if one of them is capable of such a feat. And if so, hopefully we can convince them to, oh God, stay here for a month. That's going to be a hard sell.
We could push the timetable. We need at most 2 weeks far into the park. Do our research with Seth. Beyond that, it's them getting their preparations ready. So we could push it up to 2 weeks, push it back extra week to 3. A whole month seems a little excessive. I don't think a month is a short period. Like, logistically, they might need time to prepare. But I don't see only gathering 100 soldiers and traveling for 2 days to be that difficult.
I agree that I think a month is a bit excessive. They should be able to hold themselves together. I'm fine with telling them 2 to 3 weeks. Somewhere within that range, at least, buy us a bit more time.
Sure.
Yeah, sounds good to me too.
I need to see the mass grave. 2 weeks.
Armand, do you have any idea?
Can't say I'm very familiar with that type of arcane magic, but that's one thing I can at least say. It came from a crest sky, was probably of the arcane nature.
Yeah, his only lead on the ritual is that arcane in nature.
Right.
Who'd have thunk it?
Yes, exactly.
50-50 chance whether it's arcane or divine.
So we need to find the details of this ritual if we're even to attempt this.
Remessage the broker.
Do we know anybody who has experience with soul gems?
You know what? The more we talk about this, the more I'm thinking we should give them at least the 3 weeks. Because it sounds like we are going to need our time to deal with a lot in the interim.
All right.
Yeah,
3 weeks.
we should be prepared as well. Zach sure he also agrees. Just so you guys know.
Nice.
I have a caveat, Armand. Not really a caveat, more like an idea to not step on toes. You want to destroy the crest guys. I'm all on board for that. I don't know them, don't care for them. But one of them works for and is associated with our employer. Would it be easier to kill most of them and castrate the men? You want to end the bloodline.
Holy shit, dude.
Dog.
I know we can't actually have this conversation, but my God.
I mean, I'm trying not to step on JJ's toes.
Give me a persuasion check.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I mean, objectively speaking, Vintent is attempting to save lives. That's the
Yeah.
the worst part of this.
It's also trying to prevent future lives.
7.
Well, yeah, but oh man.
At least the one.
This guy.
Pinteth, I appreciate your position. I don't know if I'll have it in me in the moment to not murder him and his entire bloodline, but I'll try.
That's all I can really ask for. I appreciate that. Maybe you can keep him as a pet when all is said and done.
Well, first things first, I gotta get out of this damn gym. Let's start with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna laugh out loud to myself, but not elaborate.
Well,
Damn, my
that's
wand recharged.
encouraging.
Yeah, thank you. You definitely got a long rest. I don't know if you used it today. I don't think so.
Good to know.
Yep. But whenever you are finished with your preparations and discussions, you may re-enter the Elder's Chamber. Anything else you wish to discuss? Now would be the time.
I'm trying to, like, as an aside, I'm trying to figure out how to frame the plan to keep him in the soul gem, because they don't know I have the soul gem. I don't want to tell them I have the soul gem yet, anyway. But I'm trying to devise a plan to say that this is the best because A, Zane problem's done. B, he's a prisoner and probably tormented for eternity as long as the soul gem exists. C, I get to keep some kind of power provided that we figure out a way to, like, bend Zane to my will in the gem. You know, if not, I mean, if I can't use his power still and I lose the ability with the hammer, whatever, sucks, but it is what it is. But I could just offer the tieflings the gem and they can have his soul fucking trapped. Hooray. That's just where I'm thinking. I don't know how to approach that with the council until we have a more concrete, detailed. We could do the ritual and try it. So I'm of the mind that going for the shackles first to imprison him, and then going, hey, I have a better idea. Instead of giving him to the warden.
And as long as I kill him, I can eat him.
But you have to eat him alive, because if he dies, he just reincarnates.
Yeah, that's why I have to be the one to start killing him. To finish the killing.
How are you going to eat him whole?
Carefully.
I don't know what I expected.
If we kill him, will Seven even have the chance to consume him before he's simply sent back home?
Unless one of us
There's
knows
no
some way to. I would be unfamiliar as both as a player and a character. Some way to make a zone that would stop the soul from leaving.
Again, then it comes down to the same.
Yeah.
It's the bind.
Yeah.
We need to bind him to this place.
Locate where his soul is in his body. I can eat that first.
That's another existential question. Where is the soul located in a living body? Does it have a location? Is it just permeated through everything? Does it even exist in this plane of the mortal fucking meat and flesh?
Best worst case scenario, if his soul inhabits his whole body, whatever I eat before he goes away, he can't take back.
If he's alive and you just chomp his head, he just reincarnates without a head. I don't think that's how it works, but that'd be neat and funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we go back to the chamber, what are we saying to the council?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
And access for our participation, access to their full records, including I guess this is just confirmed with But Leah, just I know Zaishori's off in her thoughts. Just confirm with her that we want to confront them about this missing information or this, you know, um, inaccessible information from the library. But I'd like to demand access to all of it,
There's also
as well as a future favor from the council.
there's also the issue of Zaishori standing as the last bloodline. She be elevated to the council. Things considering, I know she has her own little outside of,
And that's
yeah.
that's why it's important we get them to agree to all of this on their word before we then proceed to try to have Zaishori infiltrate a seat on the council.
Well, she's good. She wants all the access to the record. She wants all the information as much as we do. And yeah, she's with your plan of 3 weeks and having them owe us some favors.
Yes. If it must be defined in terms for exactly what we need as a favor, let's call it exactly what we're doing right now. At a time of our choosing, 100 of their best assist us in some unforeseen conflict to come. If they ask us to define terms.
Yeah.
All right. As you finish your conversations, the half-hour recess comes to an end. You all make your way back through the small side door back into the Elder's Chamber proper. Rex is still looking a little disgruntled, but sitting cross-armed in his chair, kind of perks up at the sight of you all coming back in. Finally, let's make some decisions. Yes. You hope you've all had a chance to deliberate amongst yourselves. If you have a decision you wish to present before the council, as far as what you would need, how much time do you think is fair for preparing both ourselves and yourselves for this next endeavor? As I said, we propose potentially up to a month to gather all of our information and our resources, but we do understand that as part of this, you are to be the head of our spear and informants on what we can expect when we hit the mountains, so we don't want to infringe upon your time as much as possible. So please let us know what you deem to be reasonable and what we can negotiate as far as next steps.
Starting with the time, thank you for giving us the chance to convene. Starting with the timetable. 3 weeks, contingent upon us speaking to our allies topside. They are 3 very powerful people who would be great assets in the fight to come, but we need to understand what things look like for them. Assuming at least a couple of them are in agreement, we may be reliant upon one of them, at least for the plan to deal with Zane in some way. So, assuming everything is fine with them, that would be our timetable.
Yuki bows. I think 3 weeks is acceptable. Rexus kind of snorts. It's better than a month, I guess. Maverin, like, come now, you'll get your blood. Just let it happen. We need to do what we need to do. So, as we said, we will be looking into potential ways of dealing with this Zane individual that won't allow him to just become a continuing problem. Um, is there anything that you wish to discuss further about your current ideas or plans? Is this something you would like to take some time to discuss? Of course, we can always reconvene this council in a week or two once we've had some time to do some research and regather our notes. We would like to make sure you have all cards on the table if we have them. That's willing to discuss.
The first thing is making sure that even if he is killed, he cannot escape back to where he came from to return once again. I asked you previously if your sorcerers, your magic users here, are capable of binding him. We're going to check with our allies to see if they can do the same. Most of the plans would be contingent upon making sure his soul cannot escape. So let's look into that first, and then we can figure out exactly how we're going to deal with him following that step. Does that sound fair?
Yes, it's something we can certainly look into. I don't have a problem conducting that research amongst our men. There's still the issue at hand of transportation. I don't want to think I need to reiterate the bad look of marching 100 strong across the wastes, especially because, how to put this? Who would Callus? Yeah, Callus would interrupt. You truly think that many keep eyes on the wastes? Not everyone is concerned with our positions. Maverin would respond back. I don't really care about anyone else actually keeping eyes on the waste. You're right. More than likely, Zepharel's safe. Felthier is not keeping an eye on the waste for Trag, any of these other nations. They don't, as far as we know that we're here. What I'm worried about is those that do know we're here. Say, I don't know, Zane and his horn hunters. How far out do you think the scouts look? How far do you think they're going to see a marching army of 100? Yeah, it's going to give them time to prepare, and we should be prepared for that. They should know, they're going to know we're coming. That's not what I'm concerned with. I'm concerned with him going and realizing either A, whether he wins or loses the fight, sending a scout back to Falfair saying, the tieflings are coming, the tieflings are coming. And then we all get wiped out.
I have an idea, but I don't think most of you like.
I think you're thinking what I'm thinking.
Zane wants to kill us, and if he sees us wandering, mostly by ourselves with a few allies in our steed, no doubt he will be confident enough to ambush us. You allow Rexus, as the council elder who is accompanying this mission, to transport the tapestry. You hold the portal with our group, and in doing so allow us to ambush him as he believes he is ambushing us.
As this is part of the group, I will allow you to decide. I need a persuasion check from somebody.
Please, somebody charismatic.
That would be Zaishori.
For the love of God.
Like how we were thinking the same thing, though. We were thinking almost the exact same thing.
I had a feeling you were on it too with that. So.
No.
Balthier's Military Academy, mind at work.
Fun.
Just so you know, I will give you Saishuri has a
Yeah,
plus
she-
7.
Yeah.
She wants to roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like I just imagine her chiming in, like, you know.
Uh, yeah, DM. She said you could roll for her.
Let's
Okay.
go.
Let's go.
Yes.
Let's
Yes.
go.
Yes.
No one can resist.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I need a minute.
Oh, we did it.
All right, pee
What
break,
the
pee break. Be right
fucking
back.
Tapestry. Let's
we did it.
go, baby. What'd you bring with us? Oh, a few friends and the portal to hell.
We broke
Be
him.
right back.
Dude,
Let's
yeah.
fucking go.
My idea was just I could draw a whole bunch of things, and you have them. But don't worry about that. That's not what they are.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you could use the paint for something interesting in this situation.
All right. In your expertise, do ghillie suits exist?
Wait, what? What is that?
A ghillie suit? So it's like camo, except it's textured to match
Oh.
the environment you're in.
Oh, I see what you're saying for like ambush purposes.
Yeah, because that doesn't need that much paint,
Hmm.
and I still have 10,000 square feet of it.
That's actually a very interesting idea. I really like that too.
Like, yeah, we have the things. I can just make them look like this. We don't even have to worry about magic. Like, yeah. Best part of that, it's the intent behind what I'm drawing. He's very good.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So you don't have to like match the environment exactly. Your intent is to match it exactly, so it will
Yeah.
match whatever the
Yeah.
surround. Okay, I get what you mean. That's pretty cool. I mean, honestly, that's a really damn man. I gotta remember you have that. Bro. That's a really versatile,
Yeah.
interesting item. You have 10,000 square feet.
Well, like 9,300 and change left.
Damn, that's
I got
pretty
all the
nice.
pots, dude.
Uh-huh.
Okay. You watch as Yuki blinks very slowly. Just, I'm sorry, you want us to do what? You see Rexus starts laughing just uncontrollably, like, oh, that's fucking great. What do you think, Yuki? Time to relocate, right? Get the caravan moving. House. If we send it out, no, yes, maybe. How quickly can you? Theoretically, it's possible. I don't. Yuki interrupts him. I don't care if it's possible. It's absolutely ludicrous. We're talking about we're talking about potentially risking the entire populace. You understand that? What if it gets damaged? What if it gets stolen? What could we possibly? I mean, Maverick, it's a great way to move us all quickly across the desert, isn't it? Unseen. Isn't that what we're all worried about? Yes, but but shit, I don't think I have an actual rebuttal to this. Okay, well, okay, hold on. The tapestry has to be fully extended to actually operate. We know that. Meaning, it needs to be set up. So
How,
if you're ambushed before it's set up, there's a problem.
how wide is it again, DM?
It is about 15 feet long and about 10 feet tall.
I could easily make us a caravan big enough to hold that open.
Do we have any ways to solve the problem?
Again, I don't understand why we're actually considering this at the moment.
Big wagon.
I mean,
And it will be guarded by all of us.
it's not the craziest idea. We were talking about possibly relocating to what was it? The Silken Valley? Seems like we're packing up anyway.
Yes.
I'll be the one to say it. What if they fail? What do we do? We'll have more than 100 soldiers ready. Fuck's sake.
We know him. We know what we're dealing with now. And we're going to have your best at our side.
Leola chimes in at this point. I think it needs to be put to a vote. Yuki just stares daggers at her, just immediately snaps the neck. Rexus, I second the fact this should be voted on by the elders. Fuck's sake. Fine. Fine. Put before the Elder Council for vote on what to do next about the situation. All in favor of moving the tapestry in the possession of Seven's deadly sins to be used as our ambush point for when we take on Zane and whatever he has in store. For our 100 strong to move quickly and quietly through the desert. To put all of us in danger. Faith that we probably could not come back from if it failed. I say yes.
Let's go, Rexus.
I've never seen the mountain. I want to go.
Oh, man.
Yuki, I am so usually on your side. I think the bitch got you on this one. Mavrin votes yes. Kylus, the kind of older one. I've seen a lot of shit, but woof. I will vote yes. However, with the caveat that for Yuki's sanity, over the next 3 weeks, we explore any other possible way that this could be done. And if we can make a convincing argument for a better option, we will explore it. But that withstanding, it's a good plan, Yuki. I know when I am beaten. And with Hylas's caveat, fine. I don't need my vote anyway, but this council works better when we have consensus. Unless we can come up with a better option for transportation in the next 3 weeks, we will prepare to move the portal. Provided you have an adequate way to making sure it is functional when the time comes.
I will make a big wagon.
We can look into that options to make sure it can be dispatched quickly and effectively.
Very well. Unless there's any other. You know what? No, I'm just going to call this one. I don't. Nope. We are done for this evening. There are things that we need to discuss. We all have many things to search, and we have many things to do. Much preparations to be made. But it appears we have a plan. Or the starts of a plan. The inklings of a plan.
Don't make me say it.
Unless there's anything else you wish to discuss at this moment, I believe we are adjourned.
Just up before we adjourn, quickly, we need to start on our research, of course. As quickly as possible. And there seem to be certain restrictions Zaishori was facing as she was attempting to research in the library before. I'm sure it's a cursory, thing to just remove those, as we will be allies in the events to come. We just want to make sure we do all of our due diligence.
Right. Mavrin, what is he talking about? I do believe he's talking about very sensitive information that is currently not. To say it's restricted is not technically correct. It's not here.
Are you saying that
So,
those sensitive records are stored elsewhere?
I mean, if you have very sensitive records and you need to keep them, I see no better place than the pits of hell. That being said, if there are particular things that were perhaps caught up in that research that you think could be useful. One moment. You see he kind of reaches into like one of the pouches on his side. He pulls out like looks like a little notepad. Yeah, that should be enough. See, he rips out a couple of sheets. He will hand them to Saishori directly. If you have inquiries that you are having a hard time coming up with at the library itself, If it's something that says it's restricted, go ahead and jot it down on one of those pieces of paper. I'll see what I can do. So, for anyone who wants to take the notes of it, Saishori was handed 5 sheets of seems to be magical paper of some kind.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, today got eventful. Yes, yes, it did. Anyway, if there's nothing else for this evening, I would like to go discuss things that need to be discussed. So, if you
Sure,
need
you have much to
anything,
discuss.
yes, if you need anything, feel free to reach out to either Elvira, or you can put in an inquiry downstairs at the desk that you are looking for connections on. Let's call it Project Zane. Why not? Just put that and we will know to run that up the flagpole real fast.
Okay.
Understood.
Enjoy your time here. If you need anything else, you know to talk to. Um, have a lovely rest of your day.
Thank
Not
you for
even
the
waiting
council,
for a
Stein.
response, Yuki is leaving.
Yeah, she's gone. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Goodbye, Yuki.
Didn't say
Rex just comes
adjourned.
Rex just comes over and just like slaps like Ravi and Vinteth on their back, just like
Oh!
forwards.
Ugh.
That's 1d4
I've never
damage,
seen her
guys.
squirm like that in so fucking long. Ah.
Uh, well, I'm glad we could provide some entertainment along the planning sessions, and I appreciate your enthusiasm in getting this all done.
Oh, of course, I haven't killed anything in a while.
Yeah.
We'll get your
This is a
chance.
Oh, same.
Mhm.
Oh, fantastic. So I got planning to do. Oh,
I just gotta look at Suji.
Wait,
yeah, Rex just nods at Yusuji like, I feel that.
okay.
Oh, well, if you all need anything, feel free to either summons me or stop by the Unger estate and just let them know you're looking for me. And I'm sure if I'm free, I can lend a hand. Preparations! Wanders off.
Let's appreciate it.
Nice. Well, I didn't really expect that to work, but
It-
I really think it was that last word by Zaishori that got us over the edge.
Yeah.
This is a
Well,
way better plan than when we thought that I might have to push that battery off the airship.
Jeez
was
Louise.
that ever really a plan or just something you desperately wanted to do, Sam?
Oh, no. Remember, they had the bombs on them.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's either we die or whatever below us is just gone.
Well,
And then you could have gotten all
okay,
those diamonds and all those golds.
that's true. But
Yeah.
look, we need to speak to Sonny and Babby. I mean, Simon
Simon.
too. So it would
Sonny's
certainly
in.
be nice to have him along with us. But look, all the love to Simon and his obviously incredible abilities. Sonny or Babby might be the one to have the capabilities we're speaking of. These plans seem very contingent upon that. So let's hope A, that they can, or one of them can, and B, that we can convince them to stay here for the 3 weeks plus yet another fight against Zane. So, fingers crossed on that, but I felt we needed to bank on it. Or maybe one of their mages, but let's not assume the tieflings are capable of this and just move forward, try to figure it out ourselves.
I think we can definitely count on Sonny if we tell him we're also going to be killing that bitch.
All right, meeting's over. What? Are we going to plan
Make our
our?
way back to the surface and touch base with them. That's the most important thing right now.
Mhm.
Not all of us need to go, but someone needs to speak to them.
Yeah. I need to see the mass grave.
That will be. We just need to touch base with them first, Seven, and then we can get moving right afterwards. We just need to make sure we're not leaving them in the dark. They're going to
Mhm.
just leave if we don't tell them
Yeah.
anything. But afterwards, we will go. I promise.
Yeah, it's probably not a sending spell situation
No,
conversation.
I think we need to speak to them. And I was thinking the same thing, but I'm not sure. Yeah, the 25-word responses are going to get this one done.
No. All right. So what do I tell the broker?
Oh God, just if. Well, we already sent him the whole. We already let him know about Katori and everything, right?
Yeah.
Didn't we?
Yep.
So for now, I mean, he understands the situation. Is he willing to put more people in danger to deal with this? I think we simply move forward. If he wishes to send additional aid, he's welcome to it, but I don't want to push him for it.
I really like. So I was gonna tell him I met the real court spirit. Do I still do that? Do I not do that?
What I Seven, I know you enjoy writing him those letters. Does he need to know? I just don't see. Do you, is there any benefit to him being aware of that?
I can find out in a month.
Suji's trying to learn from him. The
Yeah.
court beards exiled him. Who's to say, that
He
there's
didn't.
any
He was
relevance?
exiled. He had to make his pilgrimage.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry,
To
Roach.
be
Weren't you
fair,
saying
we
he was
didn't
like
say that
in?
to him, Seven.
Yeah. Okay.
What was that, Brad?
Didn't you say he was like hidden or not exiled? That might have been the wrong word. But am I losing my mind?
It's not so much he was exiled. It was more nobody knew.
Log lost or like hidden
Yeah.
son.
The court
Okay,
spirits.
so
Nobody knew the
so
court spirits had a son that were in
it's like
Ashford.
so. Look, that's the court beard's business, and Suji's trying to learn from him. Maybe ask him if he wants, his existence known before we start sending that information.
Push my notepad away. Yeah.
I do think it could open up interesting avenues. I don't know what's happened to the estate since then, since we haven't revisited it.
Well, that's true, but well, you're going to be there with him. Why don't you talk to him and feel him out a bit, Suji? And then, if we want to try to get more information for him, we can. But you can understand if he even wants to reconnect to that life.
Yeah, he seems semi-separated from it at the moment, but maybe he'll grow on it. But that is just a side task, I suppose. I care less about him being a court beard, but more so being a capable blacksmith.
Yes, especially in this environment where I'm sure some incredible feats are possible.
Yeah. That sword was bigger than me. Just hold
Oh
my
yeah,
arm
and
all the way
Zaishuri,
up.
we might have if we finish this sword, we might just give it to you. I think that's kind of what we were talking about. Do you want a 10-foot sword?
She's gonna carry it.
I'm just
Carefully.
imagining Zaishori jumps up and down. Like, yay!
I definitely like to try it out.
Alright.
Can come then.
Oh, you guys go on your journey. I'll do my blacksmithing, and we'll meet up again soon.
I do wish I could observe Suji, but I need to see this place. Seven's ancestors could answer so many questions.
Seven's preparing himself now. If he catches Ravi stealing stuff,
We're
gonna need a replacement.
You have no. I have not stolen anything this campaign. You have no clue. Robbie was even thinking.
Yeah, I steal everything.
Seven knows how he looks. Ravi looked at him when he first met him,
Oh man.
and they can't say no.
Alright. So as the party leaves the Elders' Hall, makes their way back topside to go track down Sunny, Babby, Simon, discuss the next steps, figure out the rest of their plan, and right before an evening back at the Lava Hearth Tavern to meet up with Jasper on a potential journey deeper into the outsides of Zephyr to find the mass grave of those like seven.
Mhm.
That's where we'll pick up next time.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that'll be the Well, no. We got one more.
That'll be
before
next
the Emperor's.
Wednesday.
Nice.
So a couple
Sweet.
more conversations, and then I'll set us up for what comes next.
Yeah.
Chris, you and me can talk because if the plan obviously is if Suji's going to stay behind, if you want to run a different character as like merc
Oh,
for
that'd be
hire,
sick. Yeah.
Oh, that is definitely something that's pretty cool.
yeah,
That'd
just
be
so you're
sick.
not like sitting around doing back and forth with Suji's. But you and me can talk if you want to develop a quick character for the in person if Suji's going to stick behind during the travel.
Okay,
Oh my
sounds
God.
good. We can talk about that tomorrow.
Cool.
Let him play Rexus now. No. Yo, Rexus, you want to come visit a graveyard?
That implies everything is dead.
Nothing to kill here. What am I doing here?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
could spar Rexus.
No, I don't know about that.
I didn't say it'd go well.
No, I mean no offense
I
to
know.
Seven, but we gotta hope that Rexus would kick your ass, because otherwise he has no chance against Zane. We've already seen this.
Yeah, it'd be fine.
Bro, if 7 knocks him out one punch, I'm walking away. I'm done.
Yeah.
Bro,
Which
I
is the
tried
best
to
you
I
have.
tried to hit Zane twice, and immediately it was like, "Welp, I guess I'm pure support for Katori in this fight."
I just got surprised me at once. Raging, we're biting, and we're recklessing everything.
I mean,
Okay,
you guys
to
could.
be fair to you, Ravi, you started off by firebolting him, which you didn't know he was a fucking demon and immune to fire.
True. I
Yeah.
did just
Didn't
think he
hit
was an asshole. I did hit him. You're right. He's an asshole mercenary. Oh boy.
But anyway, more on that next time.
Yep. God, that was a
Shame.
fun little fight. That little like interlude fight before the rest of the group got there. I did enjoy that.
Yeah.
You were about to die.
Well, if he got through Katori, yes, but I feel like actually my positioning was pretty strong in that fight to avoid dying.
No, I'm talking about
Like,
your
I think
first
it was-
meeting with him.
The first
Oh, well,
firebolt,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he just knocked me out in one round. I mean, you know, what are you gonna do? We didn't know. I just thought we didn't know he was this tough.
Yeah.
Now we know.